Karen started hating my dog Biscuit the second his paws touched the sidewalk. I just moved into Pinebrook Estates, fancy place where even the trees look stuck up. House was great, mortgage locked, Biscuit had a yard to run wild, everything was cool till she showed up. Karen, head of the HOA, or more like dictator of the block, walked up one morning with her clipboard like she was handing out fines in a war zone. Your dog barked 3 times yesterday between 3:45 and 3:47 p.m. That breaks Section 8, Clause 42 of the Pinebrook Peace Agreement, she said, all serious. I stared. Biscuit stared. A leaf blew past us, probably breaking some HOA code too. I said, "That's not even a real rule." Karen didn't blink. I wrote it in, got 3 votes, me, myself, and I. Thought it was a joke. Big mistake. Karen snapped a photo of Biscuit peeing on our mailbox. "That's public urination," she said, "and your mailbox is HOA property." That was day 1 of the war. Next day, she puts up a "No dogs allowed" sign at the edge of my driveway. Starts dropping notes in my mailbox in Comic Sans. Yes, the disrespect. Then she records Biscuit's barks and plays them at the HOA meeting like they were evidence. People started calling it the bark tapes. Then came the final straw, a violation letter claiming Biscuit's collar was threatening. It was blue, with little cartoon bones on it, so I snapped. Found out HOA didn't even own all the land around here. Dug deeper, turns out the land behind Karen's place was up for auction. Developer owed back taxes. Guess who bought it? Me. Then I went straight to City Hall, applied for a public park permit. Told them I wanted to build something for the community. Dog park? Approved. Grant? Approved. HOA? Couldn't say a word. Few weeks later, Karen's losing it. Watching construction workers dig up behind her house, bark park signs going up, poop bag stations, agility ramps. Big sign said, "Welcome to Biscuit's backyard, a community dog park." Karen came storming over, face red, voice cracking. "What is this?" I handed her a leash, just following the rules. Next thing I know, Karen's dragging out folding chairs and planting herself on her porch like she's guarding the Alamo. Sunglasses on, notepad in hand, binoculars around her neck. Every time someone walks a dog into the new park, my park, she scribbles notes like she's solving a murder case. If Biscuit so much as lifted his tail, she snapped a picture. Day after day, she just sat there, baking in the sun, looking like a burnt marshmallow, watching dogs poop on her former quiet backyard. Kids laughing, dogs running, people chilling with iced coffees and Bluetooth speakers. She hated every second. Then she escalated. She installed motion sensors along the side of her house that blasted high-pitched beeping whenever a dog got too close to her fence. Didn't take long before one golden retriever peed on her solar panel out of spite. Karen lost it. Ran outside in her bathrobe screaming about canine terrorism. I stood on the other side of the fence eating popcorn. "He's just expressing himself, Karen." She filed a noise complaint. City said the dog park had a valid permit. She tried a petition. No one signed it except her weird cousin Earl, who didn't even live in the neighborhood. She tried calling the news, but even they ghosted her after the first interview when she claimed the dogs were mind-controlled spies. So she tried to get personal. One night, Biscuit's chew toys disappeared. Next day, there's a tiny lost items sign taped to her fence with my squeaky burger toy inside a plastic bag like it was evidence from CSI. I knocked. She answered with her arms crossed and a smug smile. "This yours?" she said. "You gonna return it or charge it with grand theft squeaky?" She didn't laugh. So I upped the game. Installed free Wi-Fi in the dog park, called it Karen Hates Dogs, started hosting yappy hours every Saturday, local coffee trucks, treats for the pups, free tennis balls, music. The park became the place. People from 2 neighborhoods over started showing up. Even the mayor brought his pug one weekend. Karen's eye twitched so hard I thought she was glitching. Then one morning, I woke up to something wild. Karen had fenced off the back of her yard. She was trying to block off the park view with giant tarps and private property, no trespassing signs like she was prepping for a zombie apocalypse. Too bad city zoning said her property ended 6 feet before the fence line. The rest? Still mine. Still public. Still barking. So I filed a violation notice on her. Unapproved fencing, unauthorized signage, interference with a public facility. City sent her a notice within 48 hours. Watching her rip those signs down while muttering under her breath was better than Netflix. Then came the cherry on top. Karen went to the HOA board demanding I be fined, evicted, arrested, whatever she could think of. But the board? They'd been chilling at Biscuit's backyard every other afternoon with their poodles and lawn chairs. One of them even had a pup named Rough Rambo. They laughed her out of the meeting. Karen stormed out, slammed her clipboard on the ground, and swore she was taking this all the way up to the governor, the president, maybe even God. I just waved. 2 weeks later, Karen was acting too quiet. No yelling, no binoculars, no random laminated signs about leash lengths or authorized bark levels. Just silence. I knew something was up. Turns out she was plotting. One afternoon, a dude in a neon vest knocked on my door, clipboard in hand, looking like he came from the Matrix if the Matrix shopped at Dollar General. I'm here to inspect the park. Karen said you installed illegal underground dog bunkers. I blinked. Dog, what now? He pointed to a complaint form. Says here you're harboring weaponized poodles under her house. I honestly didn't know whether to laugh or call the FBI. Instead, I walked him through the park, showed him the agility course, the free poop bags, even the new splash pad we just installed. He nodded, confused, left muttering something about how his job used to be normal. But Karen wasn't done. The next day, a giant, closed by order of HOA banner was duct taped to the fence, red paint dripping like she tried to summon Satan. Thing is, there was no official order, just Karen with a ladder and too much free time. So I called the city again. They showed up, rolled their eyes, ripped the sign down, and handed her a vandalism citation. I swear I saw her soul leave her body. Then she retaliated with something I never expected. A podcast. No joke. Karen's Corner. She sat in her living room every Tuesday, rambling into a $12 microphone about the fall of civilization and the dog mafia taking over suburbia. Episode 3 was titled The Sheriff Who Turned My Life into a Fur-Filled Nightmare. I made it my ringtone. The park? Still booming. I added fairy lights, picnic benches, even a small mural of dogs playing poker. Families showed up in droves. We had hot dog stands on weekends. Somebody even proposed to their girlfriend there. Karen watched from her window, seething like a Disney villain after a failed curse. One day, she came storming across the lawn holding a printed map, screaming about how the energy vortex beneath her hibiscus plants was being disturbed by dog joy. I hit her with the most casual, deadpan response I could manage. You sound like Scooby-Doo's arch nemesis. She stomped off, tripped over a frisbee, and called the cops on herself. Claimed she was being psychically harassed by tail wags and positive energy. Cops showed up, recognized me, laughed, and left. So I did what any responsible citizen would do. I hosted a Karen Appreciation Day at the park. Yep, banner and everything. We had Karen-themed cupcakes with lemon sour faces, a costume contest, winner wore a wig and a clipboard, and a performance by the local improv group acting out dramatic Karen meltdowns. People lost their minds. One guy dressed as a garbage can labeled unsolicited opinions. She watched from her window the whole time, face pressed against the glass like a haunted painting. But the final straw came one Tuesday morning when I heard a beep, beep, beep outside. Karen had rented a bulldozer. You leave me no choice, she screamed, climbing into the machine like she was about to shoot a Fast and Furious spin-off. Except she didn't know how to drive it. She jerked forward, slammed into her own mailbox, then panicked and hit reverse, straight into her neighbor's flamingo statue collection. The chaos, the shrieking, the tiny pink bird limbs flying everywhere. Cops arrived. Again. This time, they didn't laugh. They asked for ID, statements, and politely informed her that technically she'd committed property damage, endangerment, and very possibly impersonation of a licensed machine operator. Me? I just offered them lemonade and said, y'all want seats in the splash zone? Karen was grounded. Not by parents, by life itself. HOA stripped her of whatever authority badge she made in Microsoft Word. Her podcast got banned from Spotify for dangerously delusional content. And the city hit her with a lovely stack of fines that could pay for 3 Teslas and a therapist. Did she give up? Not even close. One rainy morning, I caught her standing on a ladder with a hairdryer trying to evaporate puddles in the dog park. Said she was fighting mold infestations caused by pet sin. I offered her an umbrella. She hissed. But then came the rally. Karen's final form. She gathered the last 4 remaining HOA loyalists. Bob the lawn snitch, Linda the noise detective, and a couple who still wore masks alone in their car, and formed what she called the Citizens Council. They marched around the block with clipboards, measuring tape, and walkie-talkies. One even had a megaphone that squeaked with every word. They handed out citations written in Comic Sans. One lady got a fine for aggressively cheerful wind chimes. I posted the footage. It went viral. Overnight, Karen Watch 2025 was trending worldwide. I sold t-shirts, made enough to add a dog treat vending machine and a massage chair for pet parents. But I knew Karen wouldn't stop until she got me out. That's when she launched her final move. A fake letter from the National Suburban Regulatory Board said the dog park violated federal tranquility codes and would be dismantled unless I surrendered control to Karen & Co. Too bad she left the sender email as karenofficial123@aol.com. I didn't respond. I just called a press conference, right in the park. Brought news crews, drones, food trucks, and even a guy dressed as an eagle who played America the Beautiful on a kazoo. I held the letter up, read it aloud, and then had it shredded by a Pomeranian in a tuxedo. The crowd lost it. Karen? She lost her mind. Stormed out of her house in curlers and combat boots, screaming about suburban anarchy and furry communism. She tried to tackle the guy in the eagle costume, missed, face planted into the dog splash zone, again, viral. The HOA called an emergency vote, the same HOA she used to rule with an iron clipboard. They voted to officially transfer her property line 5 feet back, right into her living room. That meant the park, legally, now extended through her front porch. I installed a mini bench on it. She tried to sue. Judge laughed. Court dismissed it faster than a toddler flinging broccoli. Karen went quiet again. Too quiet. I started to think she gave up. But then I saw it. Construction noise. Her backyard lit up like a Fast and Furious garage. Karen was building a fence. Not just any fence. 10 feet tall, black, metal spikes on top like she expected werewolves. I knocked on her door just to make sure she hadn't lost the plot entirely. She opened it in a full camo outfit, face painted, holding binoculars and a whistle. "You'll never win, Sheriff," I smiled. "Karen, sweetie, I already did." She slammed the door, and then she disappeared. No one saw her for weeks. Lawn overgrew. Mail piled up. Amazon guy started leaving snacks for raccoons. We all thought she maybe moved or got abducted by HOA aliens, until the dog park motion sensors caught movement at 3 a.m. Karen, digging, wearing night vision goggles and muttering something about a secret tunnel system under the dark to reclaim her lost domain. I watched it live on my security cam, and I knew it was time to go nuclear. I didn't call the cops. I didn't need to. I just sipped my coffee, tapped my security feed, and let Karen dig her own downfall. Literally. She thought she was tunneling under enemy lines. What she didn't realize was that she'd hit the old irrigation pipe running straight from the community pool to my park's new water feature. And let me tell you, that thing hadn't been drained in a decade. One snap, one burst, and a geyser of chlorinated shame erupted beneath Karen's lawn. At 3:13 a.m., her backyard became a suburban Atlantis. Lawn chairs floated, gnomes scattered like guilty witnesses. And Karen? She shot out of the tunnel like a sewer rocket, flipping through the air and landing in her own koi pond, which was now a mud jacuzzi. And the camera caught all of it. It went more viral than every previous video combined. News outlets picked it up, memes exploded. There was a remix titled Karen Splashdown, set to the Titanic flute Fail. The HOA? They had enough. They held a vote at sunrise. Every homeowner, even the ones who once feared her, showed up like it was Judgment Day. Some brought popcorn. One guy had a down with Karen foam finger. It was unanimous. Karen was officially banned from any and all HOA positions, meetings, and communications indefinitely. But I wasn't done. You see, Karen still owned the house, barely. Mortgage overdue, yard a biohazard. Her reputation tanked so far even her multi-level marketing group kicked her out. So I made her an offer. $1. Cash, in coins, rolled up and delivered in a doggy poop bag. She screamed, slammed the door. 3 weeks later, the foreclosure notice arrived. Guess who bought the property at auction? That's right, Sheriff me. And guess what I turned it into? A splash park for dogs. Sprinklers, slides, fire hydrants, the works. Right where her living room used to be, I built a pet parade pavilion. Every Saturday, we host Adopt a Pup Days with music and hot dogs. First event, called it Karen's Wake. Kids danced on her former patio. Dogs peed freely where her HOA throne once stood. Someone roasted marshmallows over a grill sitting exactly where she wrote her first violation. Poetic justice doesn't even cover it. But here's the cherry on top. Karen still lived in town, moved into a cramped rental across the street, and every day she had to watch her old kingdom become a playground for joy, barks, and the freedom she tried to crush. She put up blackout curtains. They didn't help. The final straw? She tried to call the cops on a dog for smiling too smugly. Didn't realize the responding officer was me. I walked up, badge glinting, aviators on, and said, "Ma'am, I'm gonna have to cite you for being allergic to happiness." She slammed the door again, didn't come back out. Last I heard, she changed her name, dyed her hair, and moved to a retirement community in Florida. Rumor says she got kicked out for writing citations on coconuts. As for me, I got promoted. Sheriff turned mayor. The HOA renamed it the Happily Outrageous Association. Our new motto, no Karens, just kindness. And every time someone parks in their own driveway, lets their dog bark with pride, or builds a treehouse big enough to touch the clouds, we do it in her memory. Poor Karen. She tried to rule a neighborhood, but I turned her reign into a revolution. And the crown, it now belongs to the people and their pooches, forever.